Derry, OG Cutty Mac,
Father,
Urban Experience author,
and Coach.
In the dance world, I'm 1/3 of the hardest dance group of all times, the Soul Brothers.
I'm also the producer and co-host of the Hip Hop Dance Stories podcast. In the history of television and films, street dance has always made a dynamic impact on the screen. Most times, the best dancers only got a 25-second scene in a 2-hour movie and would end up being the most memorable part. It was just enough time to get some shine. In this Hip Hop Dance Story series, I'm going to explore the best dance scenes in the history of television and film, break it down, and give it a Cutty review. Today, for the first episode, we're going to start at the root with Fred the Penguin Berry. He is also known as Rerun on the hit series What's Happening? Every time Rerun danced on the show, it became an instant classic.
Whoo! I'm excited and pumped about this first episode. We're going to call it Rerun Be Rippin' Up Them House Parties, Jack.
Woo!
Yes, yes, that's exactly what we're going to call it, that whole title. Rerun Be Rippin' Up Them House Parties, Jack.
Yes, sir.
Woo! Yes, sir.
So let's not waste no time. We ain't here to play no reindeer games.
Meet me in the circle and let's boogie.
Fred the Penguin Berry, father, professional street dancer,
and actor. His true rep was a street dancer.
Before, during, and after television, he was always able to earn some dollars because of his boogie skills.
As the Penguin was rising up the ranks,
he earned his stripes spanking cats all over the city.
His name really started ringing at the hottest clubs like the Mavericks Flat and Total Experience on Crenshaw and Killing the Floor on Soul Train.
Locking was his bread and butter, but his infamous slow-mo was nothing to sneeze at, Jack. And of course,
his claim to worldwide fame was when he became Freddie Rerun Stubbs on the hit show What's Happening? His name was ringing in all 50 states.
In 50 states.
All 50.
And 32 countries.
Dancing with the Lockers is what made him a prophet.
He, along with the other dynamic members, came to the hood dressed like fly apostles, brought forth a blessing and movement and rhythms that still exist today.
Fred Berry was known as the Penguin, and most historians and no-nonsense dancers only refer to him as that. Rerun won't even leave their lips.
Berry, the Penguin with the Pisces personality, was born in 1951 in St. Louis.
Now, I'm not sure if he grew up in Rolling 60s hood when he migrated to LA,
but he frequented that hood the most. We used to always see him up and down Crenshaw,
or when he was visiting one of his pretty young things up on 6th Ave. Now, before I continue, I'm not going to do an entire biography on Fred Berry,
besides a few key points, tidbits,
and a couple of backstories on my early encounters with Rerun as a kid, like 7, 8, 9 years old. Now, I was blessed to know him personally in my adult years once I was seasoned and earned my name in his boogie game, but that's a whole nother chapter. So right now, we're going to focus on that time period, how I remembered him then, and the essence of the house party, and most importantly, the dance scene. Now, the backstory to this episode, if you never watched it, is Season 1, Episode 1, The Runaway. Now, Raj, Dwayne, and Rerun are on their way to a house party, and in the worst-case sibling scenario, Raj has been informed by Mother Mabel Thomas
has to babysit and can't go to the party.
that he has to watch his little sister D, and now he can't go. Oh.
And can't go to the party.
I know the feeling. I have to go through it right now with my little sister Afro from the Hip Hop Dance Story show. Listen, Afro really thinks she's D. Thomas. And she works my nerves just like D. Thomas. But I still love her, just like a D. Thomas. But anyway, Raj was ready too, Jack. He had his silk shirt on, the flare-legged jeans with the no pockets in the back, and he put on his Brave Bull cologne to turn them honey dips on.
Brave Bull! That really turns me on.
Raj wasn't about to miss that house party, so Raj devises a plan. He calls Millie, the neighborhood babysitter, and hires her to watch his peanut butter eating sister D for a small fee. $1. After he put that plan in action, Raj was off to the jam. Let's start with the setting, the backdrop, the house party. Now, the house party was the spot where you honed your chops. These were not the fly matching parties today's generations are partaking in. No, these took place at your favorite auntie's house, a small apartment, or one of the homies' one-room bachelor pad. As you grew older, they advanced, but that was your ground zero. It really didn't matter where it was located. As long as it was some cute girls, fly dudes, and some good records, the party was on. Dig this, Jack. Whoo, boy, you ain't knowing. My generation, the golden era 90 hip-hoppers, we still throw house jams on the fly when the vibe is right, especially on couples night. Whoo, you don't know nothing about being fly with no wings. Whoo, Jack. Now this scene had all the elements that I previously mentioned of the typical house party. And Rerun was a perfect character to represent this timeless era. Here we go. The house party is in full effect. Social dancing, a few squares standing on the wall, the music's bumping, it's on. Raj is putting his Mac down in the ear of a gorgeous green-eyed goddess and telling her what he's all about. Woo! She was attracted to that brave bull. It does wonders. Now, while Raj was putting his Mac down, Rerun is making his play on some cake. Whoo, them late night munchies is real, Jack. Woo-hoo! Woo! Then, but see, his jam came on. Now, all bets is off. All the nonsense ceased. No goofy, chubby jokes was written in this part of the script. It just got real. And this is how it goes down. When that jam comes on, the best dancers take control of the whole floor, just like a bank robbery. Then the crowd gathers around for the throwdown. It could be a battle, a routine, or just a cold solo. Everybody stops to watch. Now the true beauty in this is watching Rerun get busy with the creator of Lockin', Don Campbell. See, that's how it's supposed to be. Even though Fred was embarking on another career, he still put a couple of his homies down and got him a check. Now that's what you call player shit. You dig? Hoo-hoo!
That's my kind
We
of
can
music.
fight every day. Here we go. Woo! Killing it. Give it to him, Jack. Woo! Yes, sir. Woo! Killing it. Woo-hoo! Yes, sir. This is unreal. Woo! So real. Unreal and so real. Whoo, yes, sir. Whoo, unreal and so real. So real. Now, a quick backstory. Don Campbell's father lived on my grandparents' street, Cimarron. His father worked with my grandfather at the Buick dealer. As a young buck, I used to see the Lockers meeting up in the garage to rehearse. Now, the clothes you saw them wearing on Soul Train and the Schlitz Malt liquor commercials, those was not costumes. The knickers, striped socks, and big hats was an everyday look. Not only did they create a dance, they created a culture and a lifestyle. When the Penguin pulled up, my friends that had no interest in dancing still lit up when they saw a Rerun get out of his car.
That was memorable. Now, this is so important. Now, what do you see in this scene here? Now, if you notice, after Rerun and Don ripped the party up, the circle closed and they went back to social dancing. You see, they didn't take over the party the whole night. Rerun wasn't locking through the whole night and nobody else could dance. The game ain't played like that. When you go to the hip hop club today, that's nothing but battle circles. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 circles all night long. Circles. I mean, this is ridiculous. This ain't no Jack Johnson fight. It don't take no 45 rounds to take out no sucker. It's just ridiculous. Nobody dressing. Nobody coming in fly. Nobody social dancing. Just circles everywhere. Circles. This is not sexy. It's not sexy at all. It's not sexy at all. It's not sexy at all. From the 70s to 1995, the idea was to attract the ladies that like the coldest dancers. You win the battle and get the girl at the end. That's the way the game has always been played. Hundreds of years before I came into the game. So it's only right that I pass down the game the right way to the young OGs. You dig? And now on that note, as an OG, I gotta let you youngsters know. Not what you did wrong, because it wasn't your fault, but what you missed out on. The slow jams. Whoo, Jack.
All right, everybody. Now it's the time for some quiet love music. Betty, you put on a record, and I'll put on a light.
Jack. Before I get started, I want to give a shout out to another locker that's in his true element in this scene, which is Slim the Robot. Slim is still a player today. Believe that, Jack. He keeps his cha-cha whipped, all permed up and shit, and he still got fine women on his team, Jack. Believe that. Now, at a house party, if you didn't have slow jams, it was considered what we said in our generation, it was bum. And that house party was bum. Slow jams was instrumental. They were the highlight of the night. And a slow jam was always the last jam of the night. In the 60s, they call it belly rubbing music.
I'm giving a quarter party tonight.
Belly rub?
The old belly rubbing kind?
In my days, we grew to Stacy Lattisaw, Switch, Rick James, and Tina Marie at a young age. See, this is where you locked in your phone numbers, squeezed some cakes for the first time, and got a little tongue kiss action going on. And there was levels to your slow dance game, Jack. See, as a toddler, you hold one hand, put one hand around the waist with space in between. But then by 5th and 6th grade, you moved up to the double step. That's where Stacy Lattisaw became famous. It's the perfect combination. By 8th grade, you had better have your slow dance and your cha-cha skills up to par. In high school, you needed to be seasoned, Jack, your dance skills and your rap. Because it was all put to the test when the slow jam came on. Ooh! Because the best party of the year could be the worst night of your life. Because there wasn't nothing colder than seeing your girlfriend tongue kiss another dude when the slow jam came on. That was the worst. Now you ask, how did this one dance scene leave an impact on my life? Well, for one, we were tuned in to the show every week for the next 3 seasons, hoping that Rerun would dance in one of the episodes, if not all of them. We looked at Rerun as a superhero, and his locking was his superpower. The great Dougie Fresh even said it best. He even agrees.
I mean, before he danced, you were like, who's this big guy? Right. And when he dropped into splits and locked out, I mean, to me, he became like my favorite part of that show. You started to see he had a superpower. He was like a superhero. No. A superhero.
But most importantly, Fred the Penguin Barry, he showed us street dancers that we could go a lot further in this game. But whatever we do, stay true to the roots that got you there. The boogie, and the game will be good to you.
So I hope you enjoyed this segment on the elements of the early house party and how Rerun ripped them. In the first few episodes, I'm only going to focus on the dance scenes until I get my chops tight before I tackle the bigger classics like Stormy Weather, Breakin', West Side Story, and Thriller. Next episode, I will tap in, no pun intended, into a significant scene featuring the Nicholas brothers. Down an Argentine way. It was an interesting backstory, and I'm quite sure you'll all enjoy. So until the next time we boogie, remember, he who do Running Man in long shoes will win marathon.
How would I rank this one? Accuracy. All the true elements of a house party. Realism.
Not to mention the cold-blooded dance scene. I give this one an A. That's a 4-star Cutty salute.
I give it a high grade.
Cutty!